This is going to be a training session for the adjunct professors that are onboarding, but it's also going to be a description of what we're doing with the Metversity and what we're trying to accomplish with what we're doing. And the Metversity is going to be a tool of the nonprofit We Help Everybody Everywhere Corporation. And that is going to be a charity that helps people establish other charities and give them resources to help those charities help others. And some of those charities will be helping individuals start nonprofits or for-profit entities. Essentially, people need to have help that is otherwise not available to them. Bookkeepers, CPAs, lawyers, business professionals, entrepreneurs, bankers. So we are hoping to attract people that really know what they're doing and want to do things in the community to help people that were not really granted exposure to that kind of thing. So the main purpose of Hope Metversity is that we are not operating on a large budget. Right now, I'm the only one that is funding the entire thing, and I am disabled with kidney failure. I haven't had a job in 4 years, so we don't have a lot of money, and I can work about 2 or 3 hours a day, and then I'm spent. However, I want to make this charity a nucleus for other people coming in with the desire to help other people. And the Meta University will be part of that effort. So my first challenge was when I came back and my son-in-law gave me a kidney. 2 years ago, I had to learn to walk again. I had a complete and total renal shutdown. And today I'm back to probably about 40%, but we're fighting really hard. And one of the things that I told myself that I wanted to do while I was recuperating in bed is I wanted to learn how to use the artificial intelligence. And probably 4 years ago, I made a video. You can go back and look at it on my TikTok channel. I said, hey, look, this old guy's going to learn how to do TikTok so that I can show the young people how to promote their businesses, because I believe that that micro video format was going to be the future. And turns out I was right again. But the old ways are slipping away. The websites are not as important. The content creation is very important. And if you look on my TikTok channel, you can see a lot of crappy TikTok content, especially in the beginning. However, I learned and I grew and I practiced and I made a lot of mistakes and I understood different things. And now I have a video on TikTok that has 1.3 million views. So I would say we learned that. I've also got another video that has 400,000 views. And then all of the rest of my videos are 200 to 2,000, somewhere. The content that I make is not in the dancing around, showing a lot of skin and being pretty and, you know, being an influencer type person, because that gets a gang of views. The other thing that gets a gang of views is silliness. If you're doing a lot of pranks and you're riding a tricycle off a 3-story building into a pool, and then you miss the pool and you catch the ledge and yada, 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 a million views, or you're being obnoxious and, you know, pulling people's hats off in public or whatever, that's entertainment. I get that. It's just not the content that I make. And there's a lot of people who are teachers on TikTok that they're educators, and they're educating while they're selling, a lot of them. Okay. However, it is extremely hard to ramp up the views on social media without being in a couple of those other categories and monetize it, which is what people want to do. People want to monetize their views so that they can get paid, especially in these times when corporations are laying people off right and left, and everybody needs a side gig, and it's difficult to get a job for some reason, and you're applying for jobs. So the university, I'm hoping, will provide a way for people that are making instructional content to build an audience of serious viewers that really want to go to the next level. And to explain that, what I mean is that the casual observer is going to be very interested in, hey, this guy's talking about buying houses for cash. How does he do it? And then you're watching, you know, the videos. And in the case of the Metversity, and I'll explain really quick right now, if you don't know, the Metversity is a non-accredited, non-degree giving school that is focused on training from professors, instructors, whatever you want to call us, who have done the thing. And we want to help others to more easily do what we did without having to fall down the hill like we did. So our school is free.
Good night, sweetie.
Good night, honey. Love you too. So our school is free for the 100 courses. Okay. Think of the content that you're making that's getting 78 views or whatever. That content is given to the students directly from the website, hopemetaversity.com, which should be done hopefully the end of this month. Those classes are free, and the students can connect with teachers that they like. And then the level 200 classes are going to be a deeper dive into those subjects. Those classes will be available to students that pay $14.95 a month or $49 a year annual. And if someone can't go to our school, I will make arrangements to have scholarships available for people to come to the school. And probably we're going to have them work at the school. So if you get a scholarship to Hope Metversity, you're going to get a job. Handle the social media, be in charge of the LinkedIn account for the university. Maybe you do some volunteer work for one of our partners. Maybe there's a nursing home that we are doing things for, and you can pay for your $50 tuition doing that kind of work. And I'm hoping that expands exponentially for students to be getting what they want, and the school having a little bit of money to provide the resources that it needs to provide the software for the kids to watch the videos, watch the micro cuts, do the flashcards, take a quiz, and then have a certificate of completion from the university or the Metversity that is registered on the blockchain. And a lot of people don't understand what that is, and this is for learning, so we're all learning. I said, Mark, why are you doing all this crappy AI stuff? We could tell it's AI. I know, but I'm learning. That's how I'm learning so that I could teach others. And if I could teach one person how to do one thing with the AI space that helps them or helps their family, that's what I want to do. That's all I want to do. But there's a certificate of training, and then the coursework is posted online with a link, permanently linked to the URL on your diploma. So you go into McDonald's, you're 15 years old, and you took the customer service, social media, professional conduct course at Hope Metversity, and you hand it to the hiring manager at McDonald's, and you say, hey, here's a printed copy of what I learned in that class. Here's a link and a copy of my certificate. And it shows on this piece of paper that I completed this course. And not only was I presented the information that's in this course that you can look at, both printed and online, that I had a competency displayed in knowledge of this information that you can depend on. And if you don't believe me, I have a certificate that is posted on the blockchain, and I can send you an email with my downloaded class, my downloaded certificate, and a link to that certificate that is memorialized forever as a non-fungible token in the blockchain, is recorded and can never be removed. And once these employers start to look at these certificates and then look at the material, and it says here that you went through a course that taught you how to steam clean a kitchen by a master chef that taught a class about kitchen hygiene and cleaning and passing health inspections and the do's and don'ts about food and everything. Is this true? Is this true that Gordon Ramsay taught a course on Hope Metversity and you took it and he's talking about how to keep a kitchen clean and safe? It's true. And there's a video of Gordon that's on the website talking about what he taught in his class. And then there's a certificate that I then only got a printed certificate with my name and the class information and a printout of what I was taught in the class. But the class is online and you can download all the flashcards, all the coursework, all the videos, all the Zoom classes. As an employer, you can go look at all of that. And then, if you want to, you can go see the proof in the blockchain. That's what I did. And so that's what we're doing. And I have a ton of experience in leadership, entrepreneurial stuff. I was an executive for a corporation for a long time, and I decided I didn't want to do that anymore. So I quit that job and I started a used computer company in 1994. And I was passionate about that. And we were very successful at that. We were very successful. I hadn't had to wear a tie if I don't want to for 30 years. But I was very, very excited to see the people that work for me and the customers learning. Every sale that I did was just teaching people how these wonderful devices work. And then they bought them. It was easy. And one of the things that we did, and I'll explain this in detail in one of my entrepreneurial classes that I'm going to teach, but early on, we were giving away probably 10% of the computers that were coming through, because we bought old computers from corporations that were, rotating their inventory, and we would wipe them and reset them up and that kind of thing. And we'd resell them to retail, college kids, that kind of stuff. And we made a commitment in the beginning that we were going to give away a computer a day, every day, to disadvantaged kids and people that wouldn't ordinarily have a computer. And the corporation, the nonprofit, the 501c that we teamed up with, was a company that was called Tech for All. And Tech for All is gone now because Roseanne Keating, the founder of that company, she passed away. However, she had a lot of people with Downs that were her crew over at Tech for All, and they were taking apart these computers, and we would give them parts, and we had a good relationship going. But people that needed more than what she could provide came over to Action Computers. That was my company, and we would give them a computer, and we gave away a computer a day every year for 25 years. And somebody ended up not stealing a car stereo or selling drugs or breaking into somebody's house or mugging somebody because they got a way out through that computer. They were sitting in that disadvantaged neighborhood with not a lot going for them, but then they got on the computer and they got a way out. And there's a lot of stories about that, but believe me, it happened, and it was a wonderful thing. And I'm hoping that's what happens with Hope Metversity. So I think that I'm going to end this, and I was hoping to just do a test, but I got to talking about what I'm passionate about. So if you're interested in what we're doing at all, reach out if you want help, if you want to teach, if you want to take classes, if you want to suggest somebody take classes, if you want to help get me enough users on my Hope Metversity TikTok channel so that I can go live on there, that would be awesome. But I tell all of them to not say like and share and favorite and whatever, because the real ones don't do that. Succeed. Be good. Have them like you because you're interesting to watch. Joe Rogan doesn't ask people, when he does a podcast, oh, don't forget to like and share and subscribe. And that's not how it works. So I'm going to end this, and I'm going to come back with a couple of videos that you're probably not going to pay too much attention to because they're for the professors to learn some of the mechanics, to build their classes and offer their advice. Most of them are utilizing their older content that they already have. And then we can use that content and make classes out of it and then move it down the road. And like I started to say, the 100 classes are free. The 200 classes are taught for free by the instructors, and they are just a school tuition enough to keep the doors open on what we're doing. And then the 300 courses are for the students that have been through that, and then they want to go to the next step. Then the instructors get paid. They have their Patreons or their Twitches or whatever they have. But at that point, hopefully that person has captured the interest in the students enough to say, keep following me. And if you get into my 300, 400, 500 level courses, I'm going to teach you enough that I will present you to a group of investors like Shark Tank that'll say, hey, you want to start a business? We're going to give you $50,000. We want to buy part of your company. We want to put you in the game, and we're going to start your house painting business. We're going to start your baking business. We're going to have our people, our creatives get together. We'll run an analysis of whether that business is going to be successful or not for you. But you get into those 500 level courses, and these people, I got a guy that will be teaching some of the courses at the Metversity. He was friends with Steve Jobs, and he knows all those guys. And I can't really say much about him, but he's very famous to this day. And if he teaches some of those courses, he'll call his buddies up at Disney and say, hey, I got a guy or a gal who has passed some of my courses. This is what she knows about. I taught her all the old stuff. You should hire her for $135,000 today and put her in charge of some people because she's going to be good. And that's the power of the structure of what I'm doing. But nobody gets to take advantage of what's good about the school without donating emotionally and substance to what we're doing here for the students. And so that's Hope Metversity in a nutshell, a little bit more about me and what we're trying to get going here. And if nobody told you that they love you today, I love you. There isn't anything you can do about that. So this whole broadcast will improve as I improve and I learn, and hopefully I can convince some of my Hollywood buddies to come in and do some of this editing for me like they used to do in the old days when I had a radio show and a podcast about other things. But we'll see you down the road. Hopefully you'll keep